Chris,
Thank you.
Yes.
the pepper mill that I was donating for the auction,
Yes.
we didn't get the wood out of the kiln in time, so I turned another one. I just finished it today, and I just need to know who to get it to. So I apologize for that. But
That's not a problem, Bill. We appreciate it. Ann would be the one to connect with.
Okay.
Ann Molina would be the one to
okay,
connect
I will
with.
call her in the morning and get it to her. Again, I
Okay.
apologize for it. It's just that it just didn't dry in time for the to do it. So
That's not a problem. Not a problem at all.
this
We
one-
appreciate
This
it,
one
Bill.
is also made from African olive wood with African blackwood top. So
Now, if it's something that's made for the auction, it should go to Kevin.
Oh,
okay,
I think it's for
Oh, I-
Etsy. I think it's for Etsy, right, Bill?
right.
It's an Etsy donation.
No. I already did that. This was supposed to be for the club for the silent auction, whatever the hell you call it.
yeah, the silent auction. I think you're down the line a little bit, Bill, so you got plenty of time to dry that thing.
No, I've already.
Yeah, you're way in advance. It goes to me, Bill.
Okay. All right.
I'll connect with you. Thank you.
All
Can't wait to
right.
see it.
Sorry for the confusion.
All right. That's all right. I apologize for being late with it. So
No problem. All right. I think just to kind of keep things rolling along, we're going to step right from our demonstration, and thank you again, Effie. I appreciate that. Into our challenge, which our challenge dates back to the John Beaver demonstration on segmenting. And I think basically he was saying, create a segmented item and present that. So, we need to come up with a way to identify folks that, actually, Sue?
Yes, I have
Could,
a whole bunch of pictures.
Kevin,
Oh, I
if
gotta
you can
make
give
you
Sue
co-host,
rights.
Sue. Yep. I'll do that
And
right now.
Sue, I'm going to let you call up the people's name, and once Sue calls your name, just start talking about your project, and she'll bring it up on screen.
Sue, you are now co-host.
Okay. Okay, this is Ann Molina.
oh boy.
Okay, this little box is made of poplar, and then it's a walnut segmented ring. There are 12 pieces of walnut there. And the pieces of poplar, I used poplar because it was really the only thing that I had, but those pieces weren't very thick, so I ended up gluing several of those together to get the depth that I needed. The finial on there is also made of walnut. I think there's one more picture of that. Shows it with the top off. There we go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, this is
Nicely
Anthony
done,
Harris.
Ann.
This is a blood orange. I didn't use I didn't use a table saw or glue. I just sharpened my skew up real sharp and cut through the skin. And then I might have finished turning more of it, but you see the little mark over there on the left at the bottom of the orange. That's where the chuck jaw scarred the skin when it flew off the lathe. So I just figured I would finish cutting it on the bandsaw and then sand it.
Very original, Anthony.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Bill Paulo.
Yeah, this is my version of segmenting. That was it's maple, walnut, Paduke, and cherry. And it's, that's one I made for my wife for the set by the, just by the stove. So that's pretty much my version of segmenting.
That's beautiful, Bill.
Sean is the one who taught me how to segment. So
Yeah, right.
this is another rolling pin that I made for my wife. It's also done laminated together, and it's maple, cherry, and walnut.
Nice, Bill.
This is Chuck Levinson.
I tried Kevin's idea. I changed it a little bit. And each half is like 5 different pieces. And they ended up looking like the American flag, kind of stylistic.
It does.
Very nice.
Very nice, Chuck.
Oh, that was for the
That was
show
for
and
show and
tell.
tell.
Yeah.
They weren't marked, so there's the other picture of the pens.
Yeah.
And this is Daniel Dubois.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I had to unmute. So I started turning in May of last year. As I started turning, I decided to start a YouTube channel also. So this was actually a video I did for my YouTube channel, but it was the first segmented piece I did. So this had the main blank was marble wood. And then I interlaced some strips of bloodwood, purple heart, and cherry. And then I offset it 90 degrees and did a second interlacing. I turned this platter. It's a small dish that then has a ring holder knob in the middle for my wife, and my wife commandeered it for use with her jewelry. So that's the bottom side with my mortise and the foot. And then that's the top side with the ring holder in the middle.
Very nice.
What kind of finish?
This one I used a friend of mine, another wood turner that I met on YouTube and through Instagram. His name is Brad. He has an Etsy store called Brad's Workbench, and he sells an abrasive paste and 100% and a tongue wax. So I used his abrasive paste on it, and then I put a tongue wax on it. So that has the tongue wax on it that it sits for about 15 minutes, and then it kind of melts into the wood as you turn it about 1,000 RPM once you're wiping that off.
Very nice.
Looks good.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. This is Chris Glenn.
Yep, this is me. I had some strips of white oak that a friend had given me after he had done some kitchen renovation, and they've been laying around for a long time, and this segmented project gave me opportunities. I guess it was a 12-sided segments, rings is what I was doing. And instead of doing the calculations, I basically made a bunch of several rings of different
Have we lost you again?
I think Chris has seized up.
Yeah, it looks like his internet went out.
Okay, well, we'll continue with his pictures here. That's another bowl, the inside. That's the outside of it. And this is the, he sent it to
Good
me.
job,
on
Chris.
the internet. This is Mark Turner.
Yeah, that's walnut and ash, 16 segments per ring. It's about 9 inches in diameter at the top. And I used a
Looks good.
walrus oil butcher block finish and then waxed it over that. It's all food safe.
And this is Mark Inman.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting feedback.
All right, is that better?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. This was made out of Adler, which I had scraps from laying around. 16 pieces in each ring, 3 rings with oak on the bottom. That was my first segmented attempt.
Pretty good for your first attempt.
Yeah, good job, Mark.
Joints look good.
Whoa.
This is Mike Thomas.
Okay, this is a rare part. It's a 2-part tabletop food seasoning system. Anyway, the salt's on the left, the pepper's on the right. What I did was, of course, there's wood turners refer to themselves as either chunk turners or scrap turners.
and this was made entirely from scraps. There's 5 different kinds of wood in there, and I put them together. The next photo, Sue, shows the top of it, and that is in a pattern that doesn't match at all. So they're unique, and that anyway, boy, they didn't come out very good. But fresh grind mechanism for the pepper mill, and then I just hollowed out the salt shaker, and then put stainless steel salt shaker top on it. So anyway, it was fun to do, and gosh, it needs to be buffed some more, but they were fun to make. So I'm typically a junk turner, but I went to the dark side and turned some of my scraps.
Very nice, Mike.
This is Rich McCartney.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. This was during COVID here at Tallgrass. We had no wood shop for about 8 months. But I had 48 wood samples of Hawaiian woods and a 4-inch table saw. And out on the patio, I cut it all up and put it all together. So these 2 are the smaller ones at 9 inches, and have 36 different woods in them. The big ones, which I don't have a photo of right here, have 48 different Hawaiian woods in them. And then as soon as we got back in the shop, I turned them into platters.
Those
How
are
big are they,
gorgeous,
Rich?
Rich.
Yeah.
What's the size of those, Rich?
The big, those right there are 8 inches. Basically, the strips are all 1/2 inch because from the samples, that are what, 3 by 6 by 1/2 inch. I cut them in 3/4 inch strips so I could get enough depth to turn. And yeah, it's all different. I had, like I said, a 48 set of Hawaiian woods. That one's the 8 inch, and the larger ones were wound up about 11.5 inches.
Those are really cool.
This is Rick Bywater. Are you muted, Rick? Are you still with us, Rick?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a 14-inch diameter epoxy pine cone platter with 12 segmented white oak, and then 12 segments of figured black walnut on the rim. And I definitely want to put a plug in to Kevin, because I purchased his software, and that's really what kind of got me started in the segmenting, probably about a year ago or so. And so basically I cut the white oak, turned it at about 13.5 inches in diameter, because my pressure pot is 14 inches in diameter, and then poured my epoxy, and then after that turned it. And then I felt like I needed a rim, more of an accent piece. And so I actually then went back and then turned the figured black walnut on there. And there's one more picture I sent. Do you have that one, Sue?
Yes.
It's the back side of it. So it is really cool. I mean, it turned out wonderfully. And I'm ready to do my second one. I think I'm going to try and do about a 20-inch platter and see how that one turns out.
Those pine cones against that blue remind me of the lily pods in my pond. It really looks cool.
Yeah, I think what's really neat about doing the pine cones is they're standing upright. And so as you pour the epoxy in there, it kind of creates that dancing effect, which I like. I mean, it looks like it's in motion almost.
Yeah.
And Now there again,
It
the
does.
epoxy sets in 20 minutes. So, I mean, you don't have much time. So you gotta have your act together when you're doing this stuff. But anyway,
That's beautiful. Good job, Rick.
Very nice.
Who?
Okay, this is Rick Tucker.
Yeah, this is my first attempt at a segmented bowl. This is 8 inches in diameter and 4.5 inches high. I laid out each segment what size it's going to be. Its rings are maple and walnut and cherry. And since this was my first one, I found out you have to make a lot of tooling. I made a sled to cut the segments, and then when I glued the cherry onto the walnut, it warped, so I had to build a clamp to clamp each piece one at a time. Took a little bit of time doing that, and I did a staggered pattern on the instead of a regular brick. I staggered them 1/3 of a brick over, and that's how it turned out. 324 pieces.
Very nice.
Very nice. Good job.
Yeah, it looks great. I like the staggered. It looks good.
I did a very rudimentary glue up. In 2019, my ornament was penguin ornaments made from walnut that had a lot of sapwood on it at the Bob Spire sale in October. I got some ebony and holly. So it'll require a lot more elaborate glue up to get a decent penguin out of it, but we got that far.
How many pieces in that, Sue?
2.
It looks like the Night of the Living Dead penguin.
My kind of segmented work.
Good job, Sue. Sue, was that all of our picked photos for the challenge?
That is all the challenge.
Okay, it looks like Dave's holding his hand up. Dave Stalling, you got something to show?
If we can share my screen real quickly, I just want to get kind of in the credit side because I did this.
Let me give you the screen.
Okay. Tell me.
Okay, David, you're set.
Okay. What I've got here on the screen, I hope you see, is my attempt at a segmented box. 3 pieces and a little top knot that'll get you there, and that's walnut and Osage orange, and it followed from the demo that we had on what was that, November? In any case, with the wave boxes, and I was really fascinated by that, so I just wanted to again share that. So that's all. That's it. It's about
pretty neat, Dave.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
I'd like to do some more of those.
I think there's some interest in maybe that being a future demo, that wave bowl between you and Effie. We need to get you guys working on that. Nice job, though. Nice job. Thanks for sharing, Dave.
You're welcome.
And anybody else?
There's 2 more with raised hands.
Okay, Ed Jessic.
Am I muted now, or you hearing me?
No, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay, this is my reverse of what my rings go in, not out. They're recessed into the bowl when there's 24 segments per ring, and it's black walnut and maple. And then I have one other one.
Show me the inside of that bowl, Ed. Oh, cool.
And the black walnut are different sizes. It starts out at an 1/8, goes up by a 1/16 up to a 1/2 inch.
Wow.
The rings are different thicknesses.
It's a good effect.
Very cool.
Then I did one other one. Whoops, where did it go? there it is. This little box is, I think there's 18 per row, and the top is, I made up a pattern is, so it's glued up, and it's black walnut and maple, and it took me a while to figure out how to get all the pattern in the lid, but so I've got enough to get it done.
That's gorgeous.
That's absolutely
Very,
beautiful.
Very
Yeah, that is cool.
Very nice.
Sean, you got something to share?
Yeah, I threw caution totally to the winds and used 4 pieces.
What's hanging in the middle?
It's a little Christmas jeweled
yeah.
Christmas tree,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
inside out ornament. But I had to give it a shot, seeing as how I pan segmenting so much.
It looks great. Good job.
Made 14 of those suckers. I won't do it again.
All right. I don't see any more hands. Anybody else got something to share in the challenge? All right. Well, thanks everybody that participated in the challenge. I think it was fun. It was nice to step off over into the dark side for a little bit. Now I'm back in the light and been doing some bowls lately. So we'll move right out of that. And Sue, I think you got the list of the ones that sent photos for the show and tell, and we'll get right into our show and tell. Keep it moving.
Okay, this is Ann Molina.
Okay, this is a white oak bowl that I made. When I got the white oak, it was still green. So Mike Thomas and I have been experimenting with trying to dry wood in a kiln. And this was one of the pieces that didn't crack. So that one was successful. It is about 11 inches wide by about 4 inches tall.
Nice looking.
This is Anthony Harris.
This picture and the next one, the primary reason I put him in was these both use Mike Mahoney's Danish oil. And I kind of wanted to make a plug for the idea. I think Mike Thomas made the first batch and he passed it to Sean, and no, that's not it.
Is that it?
And he passed it to Sean, and then Sean let me use a little bit, and I've since made my own. And it's, I used to use Watco Danish oil all the time. And then they changed the formula, and I really don't like it anymore. And so I was kind of lost. I like finishes that are foolproof because I'm not very good at them. And so this stuff is just great. These have 2 coats. It's not, you could put on 2 or 3 more and build it, and it'll get a little shinier with each one. But I really like it.
I've been using that too, Anthony.
Yeah.
It's if anybody is interested in the combination or the formula, look back on the KCWT website at the September issue of the wood chips from last year, and at the bottom of that, Mike Thomas has written an article on how to use it, how to mix it, and everything. But it is the simplest mixture you'll ever find: 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and you wipe it on, let it sit there for a while, and wipe it off. It's wonderful.
Yeah. This is a secret chamber box. I made it because Effie and I talked about it. This one is designed to keep paper documents in it. Go ahead and go to the next one. The lid comes off, and that's the way the box looks on the inside. Go ahead. And so what happens is there's an extra sleeve. Actually, that's the container of the box itself on the left. And when it comes out, the rest of the outer shell is undercut so that there's room to wrap to put some documents in there, and then you put the container back in, and the intent
Anthony.
was it was supposed to be secret.
Anthony, who gave you the inspiration for that?
Why, that's you, Effie.
What wood is that?
It's African blackwood. I had to make the inner sleeve 3 times to get it right. So.
How big is it?
It was about 3.5, 4 inches tall and about 1.25 inches wide, or 2.25 inches wide.
So when are you going to teach others to do that?
When they're ready.
Okay, Wednesday.
Okay.
That's not fair now, Effie.
This is something I saw ages and ages ago at Provo. They had 2 British guys that would go there, Bill Jones and Alan Batty. And what it is I don't remember what they called it, but they keep 1 pound coins, a stack of 1 pound coins in them. And so that determines the size of the inner chamber. Go ahead and go to the next. And so the inner chamber, you push on one side and it pops it out. Go ahead. And that's what the inner chamber looks like. So on one side, it's got the small circle, and on the other side, it's got the big circle. I used a cup chuck to make most of it. And then that's the small container open, and you put the coins inside of it. Made out of bloodwood.
Okay,
Hey, make that.
Chuck Levinson.
I've just been fascinated about making boxes, and I decided to make a gnome house lighthouse candy box.
Do you have a gnome village going on, Chuck?
I guess so. And there he is. I'm still getting requests, even though it's past Christmas, to make my Christmas tree gnomes.
Those are awesome. That is fun.
This is Dave Stalling.
This is a white oak base. It's 14 inches tall and 9 inches in diameter. It's turned about ½ inch or 3/8 inch wall thickness. This is natural. This came from the root ball of the white oak tree that fell over up our hillside. And so I decided to make something out of that was used a big part of the wood. This was a little green. And if you go to the next couple things, just now, this is another end, the bottom end of it. And the black is part of the wood. So the center where it says created by, that was burned in there with my recently acquired laser engraver. And there you see the setup I use for it. It just sets up on top and burns away. And you have to make your own image and so forth. So this was a economy model. It doesn't even have a brand on it that I can find. And I think it's all in $90. And so that was my Christmas present to my wood turning. And then there's a picture of the whole thing. And that's what I thought made this interesting, was the black streaks that were in the wood due to cracks, that sort of cracks in the root. And it just was interesting to me. And it had developed a couple little cracks in the meantime that I've been super gluing and white oak powder to keep it together, and it's still doing okay. But it weighs about 4 kilograms, even after it's turned. It's the most dense wood I've turned.
Me.
So that's my story.
Did you have to sharpen your tool quite a bit?
Well, I used carbide as much as I could, and then I used my big 3-foot long, 2-inch square bar that I turned a deep that you held once there at the meeting.
Yeah.
To get that out, and it's a challenge to do these big deep things, and I'm anxious to get one of those little carbide cutter on the end of a big 3/4 inch bar. It just, 12 inches deep to the bottom. And it finished with just the walnut oil. I didn't want to add any color to it.
It's gorgeous.
That's the other side of it.
Very pretty, Dave.
Very good.
And the tapered top is the consequence of the way the wood was shaped. So I said,
Okay.
I don't like that.
This is Chris Coyne.
This is me. This is a little chunk of, I think it's madrone. It's something that I picked up from Bill Spears' sale. And if you go to the next one, you'll see better. This is looking straight down on it. Oops, there we go. That's what it looks like. So I turned the center part and then decided that it needed to have a pedestal to set on to kind of accentuate the height. And then I did a simple finial where I just basically tried to reestablish the shape of the vase and the finial and then chop it off flat. So that was kind of fun. And then the other one, Sue, the other photo there is just a nice bowl. It's probably one of the nicer bowls that I've ended up with. Had a crack that I was chasing on the outside that wasn't on the inside. And I chased it down trying to get it to go away until I finally gave up and I could see a hairline crack still in it. But once I put that Danish oil mixture on it, as soon as I put the finish on it, I could not find that crack again. So it kind of self-healed itself. But it was a piece of ash and somebody referred to it as olive ash. I think Anthony might have said he thought it looked like maybe an olive ash. And I don't know if that is a different type of ash or just a color that sometimes goes through ash, but it definitely had more brown streaks than the normal ash I've been accustomed to. So that's it. I was just real pleased with the overall bowl.
And this is Rich McCartney. I think the other one may go first.
Yeah, the first part is, this is a piece of a crotch monkey pod that I brought back from Hawaii a couple of years ago. And you can see the one black line, in which when it's finished up, finished up real nice. But the other photo, that Chu was showing was, I didn't know if this could be considered a segmented piece. But that came off at about 1200 RPM and the small piece went right through the dust collector hood. But luckily I found the one little piece at the top that was missing and got it all back together again.
Wow.
But
I think it qualifies as a segment.
I figured it would hold together, but it never did. You trust it. But
it was in segments, right?
Too pretty a piece of wood to waste.
Oh, it is. It turned out gorgeous.
Very nice.
Definitely a segmented piece.
Yes.
Okay, that's the list that I got. So.
All right. Maybe there's a couple others out there that got some show and tell items there. Daniel Dubois, I see your hand go up.
I've actually got one. One of my buddies that I've gotten off of through YouTube out of England did a challenge for the month of January for a lot of makers, and he came up with a clock challenge. So I made my first clock out of a piece of walnut with the heartwood and the sapwood. And then I inserted in the middle part here, this is a flaming box elder, but all the red turned away. So I was a little disappointed, but I had the red hands to kind of accentuate it too. And then I wood burned I have a branding iron. So I burned my logo at the 12 o'clock and then I wood burned the 3, 6, and 9 into it. And this is going to be my video on my upcoming YouTube channel this weekend for his January clock challenge.
Cool. What kind of movement is that in the clock?
It's just a sweeping movement. I got a 4-pack of the movements from Amazon, which is a high torque movement. And I think the 4-pack of them with 6 different sets of hands was about $12, $14.
Cool.
So a lot of firsts since I'm newer at this, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It works and it's going to go in my shop. So I don't care about anything else.
Very nice.
Thanks.
I think you overpaid for those clockworks, though.
I might have.
Did Chris freeze up again?
That's my guess.
Well, we need to have some more announcements. I'm just kidding.
Well, I tell you what, I come on here to be inspired, and now I actually feel like that I need to go burn all my wood tools.
So Mike, you're good at doing announcements. Why don't you go ahead and give us a couple announcements just for the heck?
I think Chris is back now.
Okay.
I am. I apologize to everybody. I'm having keep dropping internet tonight. So,
Chris, I was going to ask what I said to make you hang up on us.
I feel rude every time I drop out. I apologize.
You gotta pay your internet bill.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to follow that check and make sure it didn't bounce, but I'll have my wife check into it. So, anyway, I guess, did we get through the show and tell?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, folks. I think we made it through our first, well, I guess I can only say I partially made it through, but you all made it through your first meeting of the year. I appreciate, looked like we had 37 people at one point on our Zoom meeting, and that's pretty impressive, really, to start the year out strong like that. So appreciate everybody's participation, and remember the challenge for next month is Effie, tell me again. It's
any-sided bowl.
Any-sided bowl, and he wants things outside the box, decorations and things. All right.
Okay.
Rhinestones and
yeah, rhinestones and everything. So good luck with that, and I look forward to seeing everybody next month, and I hope I get to see a few of you at the open shop before then. So good to have you all. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again, Effie.
Hey.
Thank you.
good job, Effie.
Thank you.
That was a good demo. Nice job. You and
Yeah,
Jack
very
did a good
nice.
job.
Very good job, Effie.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was your first demo, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It took me 10
That was
years.
He's fine. Now he can do them like every other month.
Yes.
He's ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ice has been broken.
See you later, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
We'll see you.